I'm firefighter Stan Coulthard. I work with the Bay County Fire and Rescue Department in Panama City, Florida. I'm going to introduce to you two things today. One, an invention that I have for a simple tool for the fire service. And the other is a concept that I'm going to call tactical overhaul. The first thing that I'm going to do is introduce why we need a new tool for overhaul. And I said, I'm going to teach tactical overhaul. Well, tactical, everybody throws that word around right now. There's tactical everything, but the actual definition means swift, measured, and efficient. Well, the reason we need a new tool is overhaul, as we do it now, is not swift. About 75% of the time we're on a fire, we're doing overhaul. So it's definitely not swift. It's not efficient. We're dumping, we crawl in, you got a room, 1-2 room, contents on fire. We'll crawl in, a good crew can get in and put that fire out with 30 gallons of water. We're trained to use as little water as possible. So we'll have a dry floor when we have the fire blacked out. Then we use the same 100 gallons a minute to put out the smoldering, deep charring overhaul, and we'll typically dump 3,000 gallons in a house. So we literally do more damage with our water than the fire did. So it's definitely not very efficient or measured. It is also one of the most stressful and straining times. Most of the labor on a fire is done during overhaul. Which leads me to the danger that we face in overhaul. The number one injury on the fire ground is stress, strain, and overexertion. Well, while we're doing overhauls, when we're doing all the work. So most of the stress, strain, and exhaustion comes from overhaul. The leading, number one mechanism, cause of injury on the fire ground is handling charged hose lines. Well, 75% of the time that we have a charged hose line in our hands, we're doing overhaul. So I had the idea that we needed to have a better method of doing overhaul, so I invented the overhaul line system. And that is simply, it's three major components, very simple. If you look, there is a quick connect coupling. This quick connect coupling will stay on your line at all times. It's less than 2 pounds. It really doesn't take up any space. It's fully swivelable. So that is that's your major component, and it stays connected to your pre-connect all the time. So when you go in, you make a knockdown, you have the fire blacked out, get on the radio and say, bring in the overhaul line. The overhaul line is a double-jacketed, very tough and durable 3/4 inch. It's the size of a garden hose. It flows 10 gallons a minute. So what you would do is you don't have to shut the line down. You don't have to gate it down. You pump 100% what you're going to pump to that attack nozzle. And all you have to do is click it in. We now have 25 feet of 3/4 inch line going to the overhaul nozzle. And it's a penetrating nozzle, and it's done this way. It's a straight bore. So I've got good, probably 30-foot reach with the stream, 10 gallons a minute, but it's made where I can stuff this right through the sheetrock up at the top plate where we get the charring, especially in kitchen fires. And I can bump that line on and off and very efficiently use my water. I'm not carrying a heavy load now. I can maneuver all around this room. Another firefighter is going to stay on the attack nozzle to have my back. In case we pull a ceiling, we've got hidden fire, I'm going to have somebody always there to protect me. But the overhaul line system is going to take that charged hose line out of your hand about 75% of the time. We're going to do 90% less water damage in a house. That's significant. We're paid to protect life and property. And by using this, we're going to, instead of using 100 gallons a minute, we're going to use 10 gallons a minute. So on the average fire, we're going to use 300 gallons instead of 3,000. Remember, we're to protect life and property.